Welcome back to another episode of the TT podcast. Urban Meyer, he's fired. Thank God, blessed. Most dialed man in the universe for a while there, But he lost his job and probably a few other things in Jacksonville, such as his sanity
and his family.
and his family. I think did his wife ever divorce him?
I don't know, but probably.
But basically, Shoddy. I know she was pissed because she was posting on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad. So basically, if y'all don't know what happened with him, a lot of things happened with him. But yeah. So basically, he was caught cheating over video on his wife and his in a club, and then not only is he a bad person, but to his family, but he's such a bad coach. I mean, he was like literally like kicking his players. There was abuse going on. Trevor Lawrence was sick of it. And first of all, not only is he a bad coach like physically, but he is a god awful play caller. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He was a great coach in college, don't get me wrong, but in the NFL it's a completely different scenario, a completely different story, and he's just he is not good, and that led to him getting, thankfully, I mean, he should have been fired weeks ago. Like, it was a much delayed thing. Everyone in Jacksonville hates him. Everyone in the NFL hates him. He literally benched his best offensive player for literally nothing.
Who did he bench?
James Robinson, their running back.
Yeah,
he did something. He fumbled the ball or something like super inconvenient. And he benched him for the entire rest of the game. And it was the most ridiculous thing we have ever seen. And he's not a good coach. And so people have been arguing for a long time about his job being stricken from him. And I personally felt like he shouldn't even. I mean, we saw signs of this stuff from like the beginning of week 3, where he was doing this type of stuff. And it's just now week 16. We're recording this on the 22nd. So week 16 starts tomorrow. So we are already at the end of the season, and he's just now getting fired. I feel like it should have been handled a little earlier. However, I'm glad that he is getting fired, and I'm glad that he's just out of here, because Urban Meyer is a cancer to literally everybody that he is around.
You know what's funny? I found that like people were predicting, some people thought he'd do good, and the expectations were high, especially with the first overall pick in the Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence era. I mean, everybody knew, like, oh, it's, expectations are high. No, I don't know what people thought was going to happen. Like, whenever a very good college, a very successful college coach tries to get on the NFL, it rarely works. Rarely ever works. You wonder why Nick Saban is still at Alabama? It's because he knows if he goes to the NFL, he's probably not going to see the same success and be clowned.
Yeah, and well, obviously you and I know this, but some who probably don't pay as much attention to football as we do, Saban used to coach in the NFL. There's a reason he went back down.
Yeah.
And
I
became so
don't
successful.
think he was definitely more successful than Urban Meyer was. I mean, just about anybody could be more successful than Urban Meyer was.
Yeah.
I'd argue Jacksonville is the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
By far.
I mean, it can't be the Lions, because the Lions are gods here.
Future Arena Football Hall of Famer Zach Wilson would clap the Jags.
I mean, I agree.
I thought Zach Wilson was going to be so good.
Oh, yeah, no, he sucks.
I wanted him to be so good.
Yeah, he's not good.
I think Zach Wilson could be good with, like, more
actual
development
weapons. Yeah. Hey, but Elijah Moore is really good. The Jets have potential. That's the difference between the Jets and then the Lions and then this team that we're discussing right now, being the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, as long as they were under Urban Meyer, had no chance at winning any games. Jacksonville used to be a couple of years ago, and it wasn't that long, they were in the AFC Championship. It wasn't that long ago.
It was like 2017.
Yeah. I mean, they were a really good franchise, and oh my gosh, their management. I mean, first of all, with Ramsey leaving, they benched Blake Bortles. They did all of this other stuff, and they don't know how to manage a football team. And then you try and bring your football team back up from the absolute ground that it was the previous season. You decide to bring in a college coach, which, by the way, I love if college coaches get into the NFL because, they're like getting that step up, and most of the time it doesn't work out, especially in head coaching, but a lot of assistant coaches will go to the NFL and make big bucks. So, I obviously like to see that. But Urban Meyer was such a big deal because he was a very successful football coach in college. But if he goes to the NFL and he goes to a team with a number 1 overall draft pick, you would expect him to at least do some. Oh, and you got Tim Tebow coming back to play tight end for you, which is also, it's just media drama. That's all it is. They hire these people for media drama. They come in and they can't get the job done. Like, what is Jacksonville's record right now?
2 and 14
record. They are 2 and 12.
Okay, I said 2 and 14.
So they are not good. Like 2 and 12 should tell you we are not doing something correctly, and they're on a 6-game losing streak. By the way, having this bad of a record against somewhat decent opponent, like you're not going up against Super Bowl champions. But like something should tell you within that record, hey, we need to change something. Something needs to be changed. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't even have any plans of firing like their owner, the owner wouldn't be responsible. I'm talking about other head coach, like other coaching jobs, like coordinators and stuff and assistants. I don't think there's any other talk besides firing Urban Meyer, which was the correct decision, and they should have done it a long time ago.
It definitely was. It definitely was the correct decision because he was a cancer to their locker room. I mean, a cancer. You hear of players being disruptive. Like, do you remember? What was it? It was. I think it was OBJ back when he was with the Giants. Maybe that he was being quote unquote disruptive in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like throwing and kicking.
Yeah.
Because he was pissed at mainly the coaching. I mean, that's like the effect that like it can do to a player. It can really, having played for played for bad coaches, it sucks because, you don't feel like you're being utilized to your fullest ability and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Like you can leave, which is risky because, I mean, unless you're like a superstar player, like OBJ, obviously, when he left, he knew he was going to get signed. But if you're some bum, like you don't know if you're going to get signed back to a team, you know what I mean? So it can be abusive, psychologically and physically, because he out here kicking the kicker.
Yeah, exactly.
R.I.P. Josh Lambo.
Yeah, and the kicker's job is to kick the football, not to be kicked. That's not why they call him the kicker. And another thing is like with Trevor Lawrence complaining, you've got a number 1 overall draft pick who was one of the best quarterback prospects in history at Clemson, and he has a lot of talent. I mean, I don't like Clemson, but I love Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence. He has a future. But if you put him on the Jags with Urban Meyer, he's not going to get anything done, especially when you take away the star running back who is there for support. Get him receivers, get him an offensive line, and get him some coaching that will actually work for the team. The Jacksonville Jaguars have potential if you build around their players, not building the players around the coaching, because the coaching can be the center of their problems for any team. Even my Steelers, we're having coaching problems right now. You need to build your team around the players that you pick from the draft and not around your head coaches, because head coaches can turn out like Urban Meyer and can be just a complete disaster and just make things worse.
But yeah, no, I agree completely. Cancers in the locker room need to be exterminated. They're like weeds. They need to be pulled or like sprayed, and they just need to be gone. Anyway, they have a lot of young talent, Travis Etienne, DJ Shark, Trevor Lawrence, Laviska Shenault Jr. I think that's his name, however you pronounce it. And then there's one more guy I know they have, and James Robinson. They have a lot of talent on defense, I think.
Yeah. No. But well, it's not even talent, it's just more of potential that's being wasted.
Yeah.
Which I think is the main theme for this team at the current moment. And the other bad teams as well. But yeah, to wrap up the Urban Meyer discussion, unless you have something else to add to it, you're completely correct. Get the weeds out of the locker room, especially when it's someone important. And people look up to their head coach. Like, players think of them as father figures, and you got your father figure going around kicking your special teams players. So, can't be happening. Can't be happening. That's our thoughts on Urban.